Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Lindsay Hume, and I am a trained therapist turned certified life and empowerment coach for women who are ready to let go of the past and design an extraordinary future where they create exactly what they want in the areas of life, love, and money. I teach mindset tools and strategies to help women become their future self now and make reaching their dreams inevitable. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to be empowered. Okay, so the Oxford Dictionary defines the word empower as make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. So if we think about doing this for ourselves, I think of it as giving myself permission to control my own life. I also think about it as unleashing the power that is already in me, right? So I believe as women, we are all already powerful, and empowerment is unleashing that and leveraging it or using it to intentionally create our life. So when I sat down to think about empowerment and what that looks like for me, there were a few women that popped into my mind, and we'll share them with you, and it may be different for you. And I'd love to hear who represents this for you. But for me, it's women like Madonna, Oprah, Michelle Obama, and Malala, the young Pakistani woman who for so many of us is so brave and inspiring. When I think about these women, I see them as confident, bold, audacious, even brave, authentic. I get the sense that they're really in control. And I don't think that that means they have it all together all the time, right? I believe that we are all human and we all have our moments and our days. But they give themselves the right to say and do what they want to do, right? And be who they want to be, believe what they believe. And oftentimes, I think what makes this such a powerful trait, right? And yet difficult trait to practice is that it often, if not always, comes at some type of risk, right? So risk of being not liked, right? Risk of being called out, risk of being outcast and rejected. And at the very kind of severe end, when you think about a case like Malala, the risk of actually losing your own life. So throughout my years of studying this area and in attempting to continually practice it and learn about it in my own life so that I can bring that to my clients, I have defined 3 key aspects that I believe are essential to being empowered, and that if you practice them, because it is a practice, right? It's not something that we're just innately have or don't have. If you practice, it will yield a more intentional life, more authentic life, and so ultimately more satisfaction, peace, joy, all of these things. So the 3 key aspects, and I'm going to go into each of them at a deeper level, but the 3 key aspects to summarize are taking ownership, right, of your life and your results, powerful decision-making based on desire and self-trust, and authenticity rooted in clarity and confidence. So ownership of life and results. The only thing we really have control over is ourselves. And I think the most powerful aspect of this is our thinking. Okay, so how we interpret the world around us, what we make other people's words and actions mean can be the difference between reaching our goals or quitting, right? Or never starting in the first place. Between self-growth and evolvement or comfort and staying exactly where you are. or feeling things like peace, trust, gratitude, or feeling things like fear, lack, and pain. The reason our thoughts are so powerful is because they make us feel an emotion. And emotions are meant, right? We have emotions so that we take action, and in some cases, inaction, right? So if you have an extraordinary goal that you want to achieve and you think something like, I'll never figure this out, right? You will likely feel something like hopeless. And from that feeling of hopeless, my guess is you won't take much action towards that goal. And the result is you don't achieve the goal. But if you think something like, it is possible for me to achieve this goal, you will feel maybe hopeful or determined. And from feelings of hope and determination, we take action, right? We start to figure out how it's possible to create the goal, and our results look very different. Okay. Another example of how powerful our thoughts are is like if you make someone else telling you that you're no good mean that you're no good, so your thought is, I'm no good, you will feel unworthy or worthless. Okay. And that feeling drives inaction. Right. It also probably drives a habit or, a behavior of thinking of all the other ways that you're worthless. And so the result is you believe that you're no good. And this is just a cycle, right? If instead someone says to you, hey, you're not any good at that thing. And you believe, hey, that's your opinion, but let me show you different, right? You will feel determination again, right? Or maybe confidence. And you will take, again, very different actions from that feeling, right? You will be determined to show how you are good, right? You will start taking those actions to prove that belief that you are good, that you can do this. And your results, again, will be very different. Okay. This is how we take full ownership of our life and our results, right? We know that our thoughts are the foundation for everything we feel, do, and achieve, like all the results in our life. And we know that we have control over what we choose to think, right? We get to think whatever we want. And so when you are empowered, you choose to think useful thoughts. This is very important. It's not always the most positive thought. You want it to be useful. So for example, if you have an extraordinary goal right now that you want to achieve that feels impossible, it might be more useful for you to think a thought like, it's possible for me to achieve my goal, as opposed to, I will achieve my goal, right? I will achieve my goal is very positive. It's very ideal. It's possible is something that might be more believable for your brain, though, at this point, because you have never done this before. And so it is more useful to think because it will create a feeling that's believable. Like if you think it's possible and you believe that, you will feel maybe excited, right? Maybe hopeful. And from those feelings, we take action. We do things to prove our belief that it's possible. Okay. So we choose useful thoughts that align to who you want to be and what you're trying to achieve. Okay. Also, when you take ownership for your life and your results this way, there's no possible way you can blame anyone for anything. And this is such great news. Because if everything is on you, right, then you can fix anything or make anything happen, right? When we make something in our lives someone else's problem, when we make it external to us, we lose control, we lose power, and authority in our own life. We're handing it over, and all we can do is hope for the best, right? We can hope that that person will take the action we want or say the thing we want them to say. We can hope that circumstances work out as such that we get the result that we want. But we have no control, and this can leave us feeling very anxious. And the result of that, the behavior we take from that anxiety, is trying to control everything, right? Okay. You really can only control yourself and how you think. And it is the most powerful way to create exactly what you want. So the first key aspect of being empowered is understanding the power you have to create the results you want and see it as a good thing, taking ownership for your life and your results. The second key aspect is authenticity. And I believe authenticity is rooted in clarity, confidence, and courage. Okay. In other words, you know what you want, you're not apologetic for it. You have clarity around your values and what it is you want to achieve in your life. You have clarity around who you are and how you show up in the world. You are guided by this clarity, and all of your words and actions align, right? And when they don't, because we're human and we will screw up, you refer back to rule number 1, right? You don't blame someone else for that. You take ownership for that, and you do what is needed to bring yourself back into alignment with who you are, your values, and what you want to achieve. When you are empowered, you are confident in who you are and what you want. You don't need everyone to like you or agree with you. You don't look for outside validation on who you should be, right? Or what you should do, because you are very clear, right? And confident in that already. I love this quote from Brooke Castillo, and I think it really fits here. If anyone is going to be unhappy with your life, it shouldn't be you. And when we are empowered, we really truly understand and believe this. Authenticity requires clarity and confidence. But I think most of all, it requires courage, right? The courage to stay true to who you are, right? Stay true to your values and to your goals and your purpose, even when you're the outsider, right? The courage to show up every day and stand for what you value, even if it upsets people, even if it results in rejection. This is hard, and at times, I know from experience, very lonely. Right? However, the alternative is trying to constantly guess at who and what you should be and do to try to make everyone happy, right? Which leads to resentment, anger, depression, anxiety. And if we go back to the concept of it being our thoughts that create our feelings and not the actions and words of other people, then we can also apply that here. We can be confident in knowing that no matter what we say or do, it doesn't make anybody feel anything. It doesn't make them feel happy or like us or not like us. It is their interpretation of what we say and do. And so from that perspective, it's impossible, right? We know this, to ever make all people happy. And it'll be impossible for you to ever have all people reject you. And when we are empowered and being authentic, we understand this. So the second key aspect to empowerment is authenticity, rooted in clarity, confidence, and courage. The third and final key aspect is making powerful decisions based on desire and self-trust. So making decisions is one of the top things or issues that I coach women on and that I have struggled with, right? We can get so caught up in our heads and spend so much time going over and over all the possibilities, right? Such an annoying, but normal human trait, that we end up so overwhelmed and consumed that we might just give up, right? It's just like, forget it, I can't even make this decision. Or we end up feeling like we need to consult anyone and everybody in our life, right? To find out what the right answer is or get validation for what we think we want to choose. This is definitely my old pattern and something that I have been working on because it makes me feel kind of crazy, right? When I'm trying to make a decision and I'm going back and forth, and I'm getting opinions from all these different places, and it just keeps getting more confusing and overwhelming. Empowered decision making is powerful, right? We do it with certainty, but not the kind of certainty that is arrogant or all-knowing, right? It's not like you make a decision, like a powerful decision isn't one that's made because you know the exact right thing. Certainty from a place of self-trust that no matter what decision you make, you're in control of the results, right? Because if we go back to number one, we can choose how we frame all things that happen in our life, right? So you have that self-trust that, hey, if this doesn't turn out the way I thought it would, I can reframe it in a way that results in learning for me. And I have the belief in myself to pivot, right? And to try something new, to make a new decision. I also think that powerful decision relies on you trusting and knowing, believing that you are the best expert on your life, right? And therefore always the best person to make a decision on your life. Powerful decision making also leans into desire, in that when we are empowered, we make decisions that align with our authentic self and what we want, not what others want, right? We are not concerned with making other people happy because we know that one, that's not our responsibility, and two, that it's not even really possible, right? Remember that it's our thoughts and it's also their thoughts that cause them to feel a certain way. Okay. And so when you are empowered, you know that you respect other people's desires, but you know you are not responsible for filling them. And because you know yourself deeply and you are in touch with what it is that you want, and you trust yourself to make the best decision, you are able to decide based on what you desire. Okay. You can ask yourself a question like, if I know that no matter what option I choose, it will be okay, it will turn out, what do I want? What sounds like fun? What's going to give me the most growth, right? It's such a fun question to ask for me. It just makes it so simple. You can also ask yourself, what reasons do I like better? So if you have a decision and it's like, I'm deciding on A or B, write down all the reasons you'd make decision A, then write down all the reasons you'd make decision B, and which ones do you like better? Which ones align more to your values? Which ones align more towards where you want to go in your life, the person you want to be? Usually the answers you like more are probably not going to be the easier decision. It doesn't mean it's going to be easier. There's probably going to be some fear you have to overcome there because it will be the decision that results in growth for you. Okay, so that is what I have for you today. Thank you for being here. If you want to learn more about the mindset tools and strategies that I teach and work with my clients on and how to implement them into your own life, please book a consult call with me. They're free. And you can do that by using the link in my bio in my Instagram, on my Instagram page, which is up here on the screen right now. And I will ask that if you know a woman who you think would benefit from this information, please share the replay with her and share the masterclass with her. I do a different topic every week at this time, 11 a.m. Central on Thursdays. So please share that. Thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful and have a great weekend.